Hello. Today we're going to talk about off-site administration in regards to MAP, Medication Administration Program. I am referring to the Responsibilities in Action Manual, which every home that has a MAP certificate should have a Responsibilities in Action workbook. This workbook has very important information in regards to MAP policy and a lot of diagrams. We're going to turn to page 190 of the Responsibilities in Action workbook for the information for offsite administration. Offsite administration is very common. That would be if you are going to the movie theater or you need to give a medication while out in the community. Sometimes you may be at an appointment during medication administration time, and this would be an opportunity for you to give medication out in the community. So it's very important that we document it correctly because it's important to track when somebody is receiving medication out into the community versus at home where the guidelines are a little different. So you have some very specific guidelines to follow. Offsite administration is defined as medication administered by you or another licensed staff, such as a nurse, at an off-site location. Off-site meaning not at the group home. Location during the hours a person would normally receive medication, either at home or at day program. Some examples might be a person who leaves their home for a community outing, such as the movie theater or going to the mall, and they'll have their medication administered by you, the MAP certified staff, while attending that activity. A person who leaves their day program to go to a work location or to attend an activity will have their medications administered by you, the MAP certified person, during their work or attending an activity. So preparation of off-site medication. If you, the MAP certified person, will be administering the medication during a time period of more than 24 hours, the med must be prepared by the pharmacy. And what that means is just that somebody, for example, is going on an overnight or a long weekend at, let's say they're going on a little trip to New Hampshire, and they're going to be staying a night or two in a hotel. That is offsite administration as well, and not a leave of absence. And so the pharmacy will need to prepare the medication almost similar to an LOA, but it's going to be for you to administer the medication short term. So it will only have as many doses of medications that you need by the pharmacy. Now, if you're just going to a movie and you're going to be gone for 4 or 5 hours and there's a medication time, you can prepare that medication. So if the pharmacy cannot prepare the medication in advance, then you will have to prepare the medication. When you prepare the medication for off-site medication administration, you must be responsible for administering the medication. So in other words, if you are working with another staff person who is saying to you, I'll prepare it for you to administer, that's not safe. So you need to prepare the medication yourself if you are administering the medication out into the community. And this falls under, state guidelines for all people. A nurse would never administer a medication that another nurse poured. And so you as a MAP certified staff have been taught that you don't administer something that somebody else has poured. So that rule still applies with this. So whomever is taking the person out into the community and will be administering medications, that person will be preparing. So each medication strength must be in a separate container. So you will have either containers, or you could use those little envelopes that are small manila, like the size of a $50. You can use those, or a container like a vial, but they must be labeled with all of this information that's located here. So the person's name, the medication name, the strength of the medication, the amount to administer, the frequency, including specific times. Like, for example, if it says twice a day at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., that's very specific times. So you would be copying all that information. The name of the ordering healthcare practitioner, the directions for medication administration. This is like that special instructions. Maybe you need to mix it with water or put the pill in applesauce. Any of those special instructions. The date you prepared it, and the amount of medication in the off-site administration container, such as the number of tablets or capsules. If it's a liquid, it might be how many milliliters you've prepared. And so a lot of this information is actually located right on your med sheet, right? Looks very familiar. So you're going to be copying that information from the med sheet and also including some of more additional information. You can use this page 190, as a guide when you're preparing that information. So, and it says right here, a coin envelope can be used for each medication you prepare. So after preparation of off-site administration, you must document. So you're going to write the medication progress or narrative note that includes the location of where you will administer the off-site medication, and leave the corresponding med box open. So remember, just like you don't sign until after you've given the medication. So if we're going to the movies, I like that scenario. We're going to the movies and we're leaving at 2. We're not going to be home until maybe 6 or 7. So during this time, the box is going to be empty for the person. And when you are preparing all of your medications, you're going to write a little note on the back of the med sheet, the date and the time, and you're going to say, I prepared Tanisha's 4 p.m. dose of clonazepam 1 milligram for an OSA. Now remember, OSA is an approved abbreviation for MAP, so we can say that. I will administer the medication to her while she's attending an outing to watch a movie followed by dinner. And then the staff person signs their name. Okay? So this is before we've left the home. Okay? So we've documented. So if the state walks in, let's say the state comes in at 4 o'clock while we're away on a trip, or let's say another staff walks in, doesn't necessarily have to be the state, and they go, oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock and this med hasn't been given. They're going to be able to look at the back and know, okay, phew, the staff person did prepare it, they did bring it with them, and the med's going to be administered. Otherwise, me as a staff person, I'm going to be calling the staff saying, oh my gosh, you need to get back to the house. They have a 4 o'clock medication they need to take. Okay? So documenting this is very important. It leaves a trail of this is what we've done. So if a medication prepared for the off-site medication administration is a countable controlled medication, when you subtract, it must be noted on the countable substance page as an OSA. So in this example, you're going to put your date, the time you're preparing it, not the time that you would give it, but the time that you've prepared it. So I popped it at 2 p.m. It's for an OSA. There was 56 tablets on hand. 1 was popped, and amount left is 55. I signed my name. Now remember, when you use the countable control book, we're always documenting the subtraction or addition of medications this is not where we document that it's been given. So we can sign this medication out in advance, okay? So that, because it needs to be kept up to date. So as soon as I pop that pill, I need to document what it's for, where it's going. All right? So so this is pretty clear cut. You can refer to this if you ever need to look at how to document it. So during your off-site medication administration, you must bring a copy of your current MAP certificate. Now this is located online. There is a website that you can pull it up and get a copy of your MAP certificate. And this covers you legally to be transporting medications into the community that are not packaged by the pharmacy, right? So this is really important that you keep a copy of that with you. When you return back to the home with the person you support, you must write a second medication progress note indicating that the med was administered. So documentation example of the second progress note after returning to the person home is located here. So the first entry was at 2:10 when we prepared it. Now here's your second note. When you come back to the house at 7:27 p.m., you're going to say, I administered Tanisha's clonazepam at 1 p.m. at 1 milligram at 4:10 p.m. So the exact time and where they were, okay? The staff person responsible for the med administration in the house will document by writing OSA in the box, okay? Because your documentation is actually on the back of the med sheet. If for any reason the medication was not administered as ordered off-site, you do need to complete all necessary follow-up and write a medication progress note or narrative note. And this might be that they refused it, or maybe you forgot, so it might need to be reported to a MAP consultant, or call the healthcare provider if maybe if they had parameters that you needed to follow, such as a blood pressure or taking a pulse, and it was outside of the parameter. So usually anytime those parameters are in place for a medication, it's usually a call to the healthcare provider. So that's just the normal follow-up needed if the medication was not given as ordered. Now, if you need to bring back any unused off-site oral medication that's prepared by you, we cannot use it. It must be disposed of. In the disposal log, which is usually located in the MAP manual, the MAP book binder. But if it was prepared by the pharmacy, such as going away for a vacation, and the vacation overnight was cut short, and now you have some medication that's blister packed by the pharmacy for that trip, since it has not left the hands of a MAP certified staff person, it can be brought back into the house, which is different than for LOA, right? Because with LOA, we're entrusting the medication to somebody who's not MAP, they're not MAP certified, it's usually family or friends, and we don't know how that medication was treated while it was outside of the program. And so we can't accept those medications back for LOA. But for off-site administration, if it's blister packed by the pharmacy, we can accept those back and use them within the home. So if you have any questions regarding this situation, you can always reach out to your nurse or to me as far as how to document off-site administration. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and I wish you luck and thank you for everything you're doing. Take care. Bye-bye.